how I became a DJ is it just happened. I just feel like I can do anything. I'll just try. I feel like I was so unhappy it was making me sick. I genuinely think that I had a migraine for like 2 years straight. Wow. My house got robbed at gunpoint. I got a message, I think, or a call from Governor B, because it was like 60,000 people, or like a crazy amount of people in a massive stadium. And I remember walking out and looking around, and I was like, this is the most people I've ever stood in front of. This is crazy. What I have to go through internally, the fight I have to go through, the confidence issues, the fight from other people, the feeling like I'm not accepted, the feeling like I'm not understood. God always steps in, literally, when I need him.
Hello and welcome back to the Kamsi podcast. It's your host, Dami Okeke, and I'm joined with another amazing guest today. Firstly, let me just start by saying thank you so much for your love. Thank you for all the love, all the likes, the comments, the sharing of our content. We're really grateful. Thank you so much for listening. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, if you listen on Spotify, we appreciate you as well. And yeah, just thank you for being a part of the Kamsi podcast family. I'm excited by the person I'm joined today, especially because she isn't often in front of the camera. Let me tell you a little bit about her. So my guest today is a multi-award winning DJ and music producer. She has entertained thousands at events like a big church festival, DJ'd for gospel artists including Limoblaze and Lecrae. Of late, she has been releasing her own music. It's DJ Shunz. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Kamsi podcast.
Thank God I'm here.
Are you nervous? You seem a little bit.
Do I?
A little bit like, nah,
All right. You're good.
You're good.
I'm just like anticipating
The question.
Yeah. But no, I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
We were saying before we started filming, I was saying that DJs get away with, no one really inquires about your story.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you bring the vibes, you bring the music, and people almost forget to actually be like, who's that person behind the deck?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So we're digging in today. Hey. Brace yourself. Let's start with your upbringing, childhood. Tell me a bit about, first of all, DJ Shunz. What should I just keep calling you that? Is that?
Yeah, you can call me Shunz.
Shunz.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
It's literally my name, like, shortened. So my name's Chanel.
Chanel.
Yeah, with you. So it's just my name. There's no exciting story.
Cool. I'm sure that's, for some people, they're like, okay, Chanel. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So childhood.
Oh my gosh.
It's not that far back.
Childhood. What can I say? I had like a normal upbringing, like my mom, my sister, my two brothers. My dad was like around a lot at the beginning, and then not so much like as I grew up, but he was always there, like always someone I could call on, always present for like the important stuff. So yeah, that was like my upbringing, just my mum and my sister.
Was that here or Jamaica?
No, here in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
What area? What are some of your memories? What are some of the, like, if somebody says, give me a picture of your childhood, what was the norm? What are some of the highlights that you recall?
I just remember like playing out a lot on the block, or like adventure, like riding bikes, roller skates. Like I had it all, like roller skates. Yeah, just that, just normal upbringing, out with friends, having to be in before it start, all of that.
Yeah.
Like just normal childhood, I'd say.
Yeah. Did you grow up in an estate?
Yeah, I did.
What was that like?
It was weird. It's weird because it's like not until you come out of that environment that you notice like there's different types of living.
Yeah.
But it was just a thing, like you get knocked for, you go out, you play. It's just like a community. Like everyone was just there. You know everyone. You know your neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't change my childhood. Like I like how I grew up in terms of like just fun, and just like every summer holiday, you know what it's gonna be. You know what's gonna happen. You're gonna get knocked for. You're gonna go adventure. Gonna play all day. And you know, if you go home, you're not allowed to go back out.
Out again. So you better, if you're coming home, just couldn't.
Yeah. You have to find a way to make sure you're not going back in that house, because that's it. It's all over if you go back in the house.
Isn't that a shame though? Because I don't feel like we can do that now.
Yeah.
With our kids.
No, we can't. It's mad because I live in my childhood area now.
Really?
Yeah. And the other day, literally like maybe 2 weeks ago, my daughter got someone knocked the door for her to come and play out for the first time. I literally cried.
What?
I was so overwhelmed. I actually had tears in my eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, my little girl is actually growing up. Someone has knocked for her and she's going out to play. She literally got her scooter, went out. I was like, this is crazy. I was just watching them outside play and I was like, that's a real childhood. Like, she's not on an iPad or nothing like that. She's out just enjoying herself.
That's amazing that you let her, because a lot of parents will be like, nah, sorry, times have changed.
Yeah, luckily there's still like that kind of community feel where I live. Like, I still know all the neighbours, well, a lot of the neighbours, and stuff. And also like
you can see them.
Yeah, like I can see it from my window. So yeah, like but yeah, it is kind of terrifying.
In terms of faith, then, who was the kind of, was there faith in growing up?
Yeah, there kind of was. Like, my mum would send us to go Sunday school. A van would literally come and pick us up.
A van?
Yeah, like a white van.
Church van?
Church van.
Wow.
Come and pick us up, bring us. We would just play.
So your mum wouldn't go? She would just say,
she wouldn't.
That's interesting.
She came very rarely, but yeah, I remember mum always cooking Sunday dinner. So she would have music on, she'd be cooking, the van would come and get us, we would go and colour in pictures of Jesus and stuff. I remember having to learn like the books of the Bible.
Like memorize
them, yeah. But I don't have a lot of like childhood memories of church and stuff like that. I do remember colouring and I do remember memorising stuff. But other than that, I don't remember much about church. When she said to us we could decide whether we want to go to church or not, I was like, no.
Why do you think she sent you guys?
I have no idea. I think she's rooted in the faith, but for whatever reason, she just was separated from God for that period of time. So she wasn't going, but I think she's always believed. I think sometimes like when it's in you, it's just in you, whether you're practicing it or not. So I think it was one of them ones like she knew was the right foundation for us to have, but she just wasn't at that place. I don't really know.
Yeah.
That's a question for her.
Ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you make us go and just colour in at church?
Yeah, you didn't
come. You stay at home?
Yeah. She'd only come like Christmas and Easter. And that was it. And maybe one or two special occasions or christening or whatever it may be.
Yeah. When did faith become more of a intentional thing? It sounds like your family didn't necessarily come through family.
I wouldn't say it did, no. I think for me, it was probably when I was about 18, I think. Yeah, about 18 or 19. I had a cousin that I was really, really close with. Like, we would literally be together all the time. And then she would just always be missing on a Sunday, or she would just always be missing on certain days. And I was like, where's she going? And then one day she just told me, oh, I've started going to church, and like explained it to me, like why she was going and stuff like that. And then it wasn't really a thing. And then a month or two after that conversation, I was like, oh, like I'm with you. Like, I just want to, I didn't know what made me ask. I can't even remember. But I just went with her and I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is cool and stuff like that. And then I just started going regularly. And the moment when I knew, like, no, there's a God, my house got robbed. I was in my room with my now husband.
Okay.
I don't know, we was probably like watching a film or whatever. Me, we're just chilling basically. There's a knock on the door and I kind of hear a commotion. And then my brother's shouting like for my mum, or shouting for something, I can't even remember. And then my husband opens the window, because my window opens like a door. So it opens massive. So you literally climb through, and we live on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So he opens the window and basically puts me through the window. And then I run. So I run to the phone box to call the police. And then I feel someone running behind me, so I think these people are chasing me. But when I look, it's my husband. So he ran.
He was like,
right the shoes, because I jumped out with my shoes on. So he ran and he brought me shoes. And then, yeah, so I went in the phone box. He was there, like outside or whatever. I'm talking to the police, trying to get them to come and answering all their questions. And then when I hang up the phone, I just started calling Jesus' name from nowhere. I must have went to church maybe like 2 or 3 times before this happened. So it's not like you did that. Yeah, I don't know. I just started calling Jesus. I don't know why or how or where it came from. And I just kept saying his name over and over and over again. No other words, literally just Jesus. And then I just felt like a peace come over me, like everything was still. It was like no one was around. There was no traffic. There was no nothing. I just remember like a peace, like no one is there. And it's just like me and God. And I just felt the calmest I've ever felt in my life. And it's like a peace I can't describe. And I was like, yeah, everything's going to be okay. And God is real. And I just knew from that moment, God is real. And that was my moment. I was like, yeah, believe in God. Wow. That's it. That's literally the story of my realization of knowing God is real. And I just became dedicated to like going to church properly, trying to understand, reading, studying the Bible. Wow. Literally just from that moment. And that's my moment I always go back to, like.
It's a knowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like when God reveals himself to you, and he's able to reveal himself to us, I feel like in the way that we need to encounter him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same for everyone.
Yeah.
But once you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just knew. And from that moment, I've just known. And it's even a thing that my husband's even said to me. He was like, you just have some next faith where you just believe, like no matter what's happening or what's going on, you just believe. But I think because my belief has come from such a crazy or traumatic place, it's like, how can I not believe when I believe
in that circumstance?
Yeah, like everyone could have literally been dead.
Yeah.
Like how many times have there been robberies or whatever it may be, and people are literally dead. So the fact I got home and my family were all safe, and I don't know, they was quite jovial about it. It was so weird.
So what happened? What happened with this person that had broken in?
So I think it was a group of boys.
Oh wow.
And yeah, they were just basically trying to rob whatever they could rob. They were just asking for things, where's this, where's that. Like when I had a camera on my my dresser in my bedroom, that was gone.
Oh.
Yeah, they just took loads of stuff. My brother had bought a brand new TV, and it was at the door. A massive TV. And it stood in the box at the door. They took that. They just took loads of stuff. I think they was asking for money and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was just crazy.
And then they left, basically. No one got harmed.
Yeah, my brother had a cut in his hand from like, he held a knife. I think someone tried to like, I don't know if they tried to stab him or what, but he like held the blade and they cut his hand.
Wow.
But other than that, yeah, no one was injured. My 2 nieces was in the house. My sister was in the house. My mum, my brother, me, and my husband. So yeah, when everyone was safe and they were like relaying the story, they just didn't seem traumatized. That was the thing that I was like, I'd have been so traumatized.
Yeah.
But
and maybe that's why you were the one that had to have left.
Yeah, I think I'm probably the most sensitive out of all of my family members. So God knows I could have been there. I'm just way too sensitive. But yeah, that just told me everything I needed to know. Like I knew God was protecting them at that time. And like, yeah, that peace that came over me, I'm like, yeah, God's real.
So what was the journey like then for you? I think you said you were 18.
I was about 18, 19.
What was the journey from there, from making that decision, you know, outside, like you said, that stillness, that knowing, to actually now walking that, you know, narrow road?
It was an adventure. It was like, I didn't realize how much I like study. It's like, yeah, I just was so in awe of like the Bible learning. I just wanted more and more. Like I couldn't get enough of reading and studying. And it even changed like other things in my life and other perspectives. Like I began to enjoy like studying academically.
Oh.
So it was like I just became open to study, and I was like, yeah, I love studying. So like even when we would go to do exams, I'd be like, I love exams, man.
What?
I want to see how clever I am, how much I know. Like it
Wow.
changed my whole world view and perspective. And because I could read the Bible, grasp it, remember it, etc., I was like, that means I can read and remember anything. And I just took that into like studies and stuff like that. And I think I still kind of have that. What is it like? I just feel like I can do anything. I'll just try. Like I'm just that person that will just try anything. And I think that's evident from my life. Like I knew so much. Like I just try.
You have a confidence.
Yeah, literally have a confidence. And if something doesn't work out, then it work out, innit? Like I've been trying.
Yeah. Yeah. How did your family feel when they would have seen like, oh, Chanel's like changing? What's going on? How do they feel knowing that you're going to church and everything?
They didn't really feel no way. Everyone kind of had like a knowing of God. Like me and my siblings obviously all grew up going to Sunday school, so they had that same foundation as me. I think like me going just made my whole family like consider it and start going. So I went first, then my mum came, then my sister came.
Wow.
Then one of my brothers started working for the church and like started believing in God. But yeah, it was just like, I don't think it was far-fetched for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, someone just needed to introduce the idea. To reintroduce the idea, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, yeah, like you say, when they do see that you're changing, they're like, oh, okay. It does make people consider God when they see the change. If it's a good change.
Positive, yeah. And you're like thriving, you're like excelling now academically as well as, so I'm sure they're like,
like I'm literally the first one to graduate like out of my siblings and stuff like that. So it was like, I'm like a first. I'm like one of them people that's first to do so many things. So yeah, you can definitely see God working. Yeah, I'd say.
Amazing. So obviously you're DJ Shunz. So how did the music come into play? Like, was there music at that time or was it later on?
That's so weird. I don't know where it came from. I used to work for a DJ.
Okay.
At the time it was Choice FM, which is now Capital Extra.
Yeah.
And yes, I used to like do PA stuff for him. Then I started producing his radio show. And yeah, I just always was around like reggae music, always around like DJs and stuff like that. And then in that period of me getting saved as well, I went to university and I just started doing events and stuff like that at uni. So I was always kind of like around DJs. How I became a DJ is it just happened. Like it wasn't something I chose to do or something I always wanted to be. It literally just happened to me. So my aunt was having a party and I was like, I'll do the music. And I just kind of like taught myself basic DJing. And then from everyone's reaction to me DJing, I was like, this is a vibe. I want to feel this all the time. This is exciting. I want people to dance and be happy. And I want to like evoke that feeling in people all the time. And it was like a drug. Like I was addicted. People be
To the response.
Yeah, to the response. And that's how I just became a DJ. I loved music and then I loved seeing people happy and dancing and
yeah,
and it just grew from there, literally. Yeah.
And did you feel like, okay, I'm going to do this full time. I'm going to do this. This is my career now? Or was it like it's going to be a side thing?
I think when I first started and it was a side thing, I was working in insurance and it was like, just didn't have that fulfillment in like the whole corporate world.
Yeah.
And the whole like climbing the ladder thing.
Yeah.
Everyone fighting each other.
Yeah.
Different job roles and it just made me unhappy. And I was like, I just want to be creative. Like, I just want to create stuff and do things I love.
Yeah.
And luckily, because I was like married or my husband was there at the time, I had like that support system. So he would like deal with like bills and stuff like that. So I was able to explore that creative side of me without worrying about like money or how am I going to pay my bills or whatever it may be. Like so many things happened.
Yeah.
Like I got sick at that time, left my job, started exploring music. It's like, it was just, it just happened. Like things just happened to me, but I know that it's God. Because I know dramatic things have to happen for me to move.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You're comfortable. You're just not going to budge, are you?
Yeah.
What happened in that scenario? You were unwell and then you had to stop working. Was it because of the job that you were unwell, or?
I feel like I was so unhappy it was making me sick. I genuinely think that I had a migraine for like 2 years straight.
Wow.
I took so many different drugs, so many different tests. They could never find anything. And the moment I quit that job, my headache just stopped. I just woke up one day and it was gone. And I was like, okay. And then I got another job thereafter, was working for a bit. And then I literally got sick with the exact same thing.
Nah.
And then I quit that job and then it was gone again, literally. So I feel like it made me so unhappy. It just manifested physically into like migraines.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I have a job now. So I'm like, do I keep falling into the same trap?
Are you getting migraines again?
I'm not getting migraines, but I'm just unhappy. So I'm like,
maybe God is like, she should have learned by now.
Yeah, it's like a cycle, innit? But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
The responsibility of having a child. I don't want to like put pressure on my household.
Husband. Yeah. I get that.
It's hard to try to get it, but I feel like if God wants me to do something, he'll make it obvious. Like if I'm supposed to be a full-time DJ, he'll make it obvious. I'm supposed to be a full-time DJ. It's always been obvious before, so it'll be obvious again. Yeah.
And obviously you've had some milestones with your DJ, and tell me about some of the like big events that you did, for example, with Lecrae. How did that come about?
It's so weird, the whole Lecrae thing. How did it start? He was at Premier Gospel doing an interview, and then Muyawa was like, oh, has anyone got questions for Lecrae? So me being cheeky, because I'm a really cheeky person, I was like, oh, can you play him my song and get feedback from him?
Which is wild. That is wild. You know, that's wild to me. It's wild to me because, one, there are some things that God, the Holy Spirit, deposits in us in that moment.
Yeah.
Some people will hear it and not realize it's God.
Yeah.
And be like, what? Shut up. Like, are you the only artist? Like, everyone else is going to do that.
Yeah, I do.
And there are others like you who will be like, nah, I'm finna ask, why not? Yeah. What's going to happen?
What's the worst
that could happen?
You're bold.
And your boldness partnered with, so I'm actually, I used to work with Muyawa, his boldness.
Yeah. Because you really are.
Got together. Yeah. Magic. It just happened.
Crazy.
So you ask him to play your music?
Yeah. The song's not out. I literally been holding the song for months. It's my very, very first song. And I'm just holding it. I don't know why I'm holding it. I'm just holding it. I'm just nervous. It's different. So I'm like, people are not going to understand it or get it, or it's just not going to do anything. So I'm just holding it. I'm just sitting on it. I'm like, just going to ask him, like, what does he think? And the feedback was crazy. It's like, sounds like you're not a newbie. Like you've been doing this. I'd be interested to hear more, etc., etc. And I was like, I need to put this song out. Because everyone's going to be like, where is this song?
Yeah, we want to hear it too.
Yeah, literally. So I was like, that day when I saw the post from Premiere, because I didn't know like when it was going to happen or come out.
Yeah.
I just saw the post one day. I think I was at work. I saw it. I remember running to the bedroom to my husband. I was like, oh my gosh, Lecrae's heard my song. Showed him the video and stuff. I was literally at work, I remember, in the living room. And I ran to the bedroom. I was like, he's heard my song. And then he was like, you need to put it out now. He's just so blasé, like, oh, you need to put it out now.
Yeah.
It's hard work. So then I just did what needed to be done. Get a song out, basically. But I would not have released that song if didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, Lecrae hears the song. What happened? You get in touch?
No, that was just it. That just happened. And then I went on this whole, like, thing of making music. And I think the following year,
wow, a whole year,
is when I got a message, I think, or a call from Governor B. He's like, I've got a friend, he's coming to the UK and he's looking for a DJ. etc., etc. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name's Lecrae. Like, who hasn't heard of him? I said, if I wasn't available on that day, I am now
You
available.
should have been like, you know what? Let me get back to you. I need to go and check.
I am now available. It could be my wedding day. I could be about to have a baby. I don't care. I'm making myself available. It was literally that. And then, yeah, his team got in contact with my team and they like all set it up. And I was at Big Church anyway.
Yeah.
So I performed the opening set
Okay.
for, let's say if it was the Saturday and then he was on the Sunday.
Oh,
So I basically stayed overnight and then performed with him on his set.
yeah.
And then he was like, I'm going to Rotterdam. And if I can DJ in Rotterdam, then that all got set up. And then I went to Rotterdam to DJ with him as well.
How did it feel to have a gig abroad?
That was, I think that was even my first gig abroad. So for it to be so big, because it was like 60,000 people, or like a crazy amount of people in a massive stadium. And I remember walking out and looking around and I was like, this is the most people I've ever stood in front of. This is crazy. And I don't know, I didn't have nerves or nothing like that. I'm just like ready. I'm ready to go. And yeah, that's how I know when it's God as well, because I don't have no nerves or nothing. I just go. I just trust him. I just believe. I always say like a prayer before and say, if you are not with me and you don't do this, this is gonna flop. So please, like, take control of this.
Yeah.
I know it's not me, so I know I will just get anxiety and just lose up or something. But God always steps in literally when I need him.
What are your conversations with God like when you have that kind of like 60,000 people playing and you remember the journey of getting there? Like, there are so many people who will be like, you know, I had to jump through hoops, I had to do backflips, but yours just seems like a gradual kind of building of different.
Yeah, it seems like that, but I think it is. I think it's hard work. It is putting myself out there, like, yeah, just being ready, being available, always talking to God about it. Like, I'm always trying to quit. I'm always like, this is my last year. I'm going to do this, that, and then that's it. And then something extravagant will happen. Every time I say I'm going to quit, something crazy happens, crazy big happens. But
so why do you keep trying to quit? What is it?
I don't know, it's hard work and it's like, it's hard to explain it. It's like, it's pressure and it's, I don't know what it is, how to explain this. It just seems bigger than me and difficult to do. I think it seems like easy and seamless, or I don't know, but what
outside.
Yeah, what I have to go through internally, the fight I have to go through, the confidence issues, the fight from other people, the feeling like I'm not accepted, the feeling like I'm not understood, feeling like I'm doing something, like I'm alien in this.
The imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and it's like no one to like look, like I can't go to someone and say, right, how did you do this, or how do I get to here, or how did you?
Because you're a pioneer, basically, isn't it? So how do you
love it to be?
If you had like a 10 year, someone who's like 10 years older than you, who's already a female DJ.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd go to them and be like, mentor me, because what do you do when there is no one above you?
Maybe you're meant to be the first. Maybe you're meant to be the one that others can come to.
It's hard. It's a burden. So sometimes I'm just not on the burden, especially when foolishness happens. When foolishness happens, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I going through this? Or like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't need to be here. I don't need to do this. Like, I've got a job, got a husband, I've got a child.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to add this stress. Like, just okay, I'll leave it. Like, little things will happen and I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just leave.
That's it. Done.
Yeah, I don't need to do this. I don't need to be here. There's other DJs.
And then what draws you back in?
Something crazy will happen. Like, even the time, yeah, like, even that time, literally, when the Lecrae thing happened, I was over it. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. And then all of a sudden, Lecrae. Like, there's always something massive.
That kind of...
Yeah. Like, even with making music, I'm like, no one really cares about this music, so I'm just not going to make it. Then boom, award or nomination.
What voice is that though? What voice is that? Is that God? Is that, what voice is that saying no one really cares?
Can't be God. It can't be. Can't be God. But when you're in it, you don't think about that. You're just, yeah, sometimes I just feel burdened by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like God, as somebody who can totally identify, I told you before that I used to work with Premier, which is basically, for context, guys, Premier Christian Radio and Premier Gospel. They are the leading Christian media broadcasters in the UK.
Yeah.
And I worked with them for 10 years. And when I left this year, God was like, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I have 2 kids, husband, where's the money?
Yeah.
Like, we have house, like bills to pay.
Yeah.
How's that going to work? Well, he actually provides. Like, it's crazy. And there is a, I'm constantly reminded that I can't, like, literally from today to tomorrow is God. Like,
Yeah.
next week is God. If someone said to me, okay, how are you going to pay your bills next month? It's God.
Yeah.
And some people are like, I can't live like this.
Yeah. I feel like I can't live like this sometimes though. I'm like, nah, I need stability. I think about it all the time, let me just get a 9-to-5 job and just, I know what my income is. And I just do it and then just settle down now. Like, why am I running around DJ all over the country?
You want a quiet life?
But it's weird. Part of me wants to be an international DJ. And then part of me is just like, I just want peace.
Civil work, you know.
I literally said to my friend this week, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done with DJ and I just want peace. I just want a peaceful life. That's a nice house. It's me in the apron, looking. Just, that sounds lovely.
Could it be that, you know, the God who knows the end from the beginning, Alpha and Omega, is like, but I've seen this journey. I promise you, the one I have is so much better than the one you could imagine for yourself. Yeah, because I'm sure in your plans to have a nice, cute little job, you know, a nice 9-to-5. No shade on anyone who has a 9-to-5. Everybody's journey is not the same. But in your imagination, you probably never imagined 60K people in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
At any point.
Literally until it happened. You know what? Until big church, I never, ever like thought I would DJ in front of that many people. It wasn't even like a goal or like a written down dream or anything. I don't know. It was like, sometimes we dream or we think small.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes I think thinking or dreaming big is burdensome, or I think sometimes when you're not trying to go for something, you live life differently.
Yeah.
I feel like before, when I never had expectations, I was happier. And stuff. Because I was just doing it for fun and pleasure and just enjoying it and what I bring to it and what it does for people and all of that. That was just like my focus. But as soon as it like international opened up, it was like so the whole new thing in my mind, and it was like, now I'm going out after being international.
Yeah.
You want to, it's not happening, it's like, oh, I'm just failing. But yeah, I think sometimes we have to go back to the simplicity of it. That's why this year I didn't write goals. So every year I was writing goals or things that I wanted to do and achieve.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, for 2024, no goals. Just
be the land of the living.
We're just going to live and do what God calls us to do. He'll like present the opportunities and that's what we'll do. Because if we have goals and we don't achieve them, we're going to be so down on ourselves and be like, oh, I didn't achieve it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing well. I'm a rubbish DJ. No one can see me.
She is such a fire DJ. The same day I'd been hearing you because basically on Premier Gospel, shout out Premier Gospel, they have look at me saying we because I used to be part of them. They have like sets, like party playlists that they do with different DJs every weekday, I think it is.
Some Fridays, I think.
Yeah, and no, yours is on Friday, but they do it every day. Yeah.
I've heard that's on like Friday though.
Yeah, they do it every day. They have different playlists. Yeah, there's different playlists. So so DJ Shunz is one of the DJs that is featured in that. And I always like listen to your set and I'm like, this set is fire. And then one day it was just like, reach out to her, invite her into the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, just why not? You know? And I was just like, yeah, why not? Why not? I'd love to like hear kind of the background. It's so funny because I actually thought you might be African.
Oh,
Because your steps give Afrobeat.
Yeah, I love Afrobeats, man.
Oh, please do tell us. As a proud Nigerian, I have to milk this moment. Okay, let me ask a controversial question.
Ooh.
That might get you disowned. Okay. Should I do reggae or Afrobeat, or should I do bashment or Afrobeat? Is there gospel bashment?
Yeah.
All right, which one?
Gospel, like bashment or dancehall, is not as popular, I would say, worldwide as Afrobeats is, just because it's like Afro gospel's following the trajectory and trend of like mainstream now. Yeah, it's just taken over the world.
Yeah.
You know what? The Nigerian community has embraced me and then made me feel so like comfortable to be who I am as a DJ. And that's what adds to my love of Afrobeats.
Wow.
The place of feeling at home or like welcomed in the community. Like they don't make me feel like an outsider or an imposter or anything like that. It's like they just accepted me. So on top of just loving the music before even like doing the whole DJ thing, or that was just the music I listened to.
Yeah.
Before it was even popular or a thing. It just came naturally when I became a DJ to then transition into that being like one of the main genres that I play. But I do love dancehall, and I do want to do so much for like the gospel reggae dancehall community, which is why I make dancehall as well now. Even going back to Jamaica this year and like being around the artists, speaking with them, seeing how they are, how they're developing, how they're pushing the genre, is like, yeah, it's made me love like where I'm from and love the music and all of that. But yeah, just the whole Afrobeats thing just came just from the love of loving it. Like I've loved it before I was even a DJ.
Yeah.
So when I was at uni, I used to do events and stuff, and that was like one of the main genres of like the parties and stuff like that I used to do. So yeah, it's just always it's always there.
She gave the diplomatic answer. It's fine, we'll take it. Thank you. Tell me a bit about family life, because I feel like when I see you in action, I don't really think about you as like a wife, a mother. And it sounds like your husband's been there. Like you talk about being 18 and you know what happened at your house, and your husband was there.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your journey with your husband, and you know, becoming a wife, becoming a mother, that aspect of things.
It's gone so quickly. Like we've literally been together for maybe like 18 years.
Wow.
A long time. I can't even think of the numbers. But yeah, he's just always been there, like that constant, that friend who just grown up. We just know each other, we understand each other, even in like growing and becoming different people, developing. There's always just been that foundation. Like I know what he likes, he knows what I like, what we don't like dreams. Like every time I'm making music or I've got a gig or whatever, and I just discuss it with him, it's just like there's just that understanding. And he's like that person that now more so that encourages me to just be bold and do things. Like even with like certain music where I'm like, I don't know, or like I'm not feeling confident in it, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you money, do a music video. Like that, like
I'm getting goosebumps. Hey, that's lovely.
That like level of how he believes in me just gives me that extra thing where I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I can do this. Like for someone to believe in me that much, it just like spurs my thing on. It's crazy. But yeah, we've come from a long way. Like we've grown.
Yeah.
We've seen so much different things, been through so many different things. We just have that foundation in it. So it's just different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to explain. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know, it's just
get each other. He's just there, isn't it?
Like, it's just there. Like, I'm just there. Like, when I'm at home, when I'm not DJ Shunz, when I'm just Shunz or Shun, it's like, it's a different thing. We'll just chill, innit?
Yeah.
Just relaxed.
And you have a child,
Yeah.
boy or girl, a daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was that like, becoming a mother?
I was ready to become a mum. Like, I was so cautious about it, and like, I needed to be ready. I was like, I'm not having a child until I know if I'm a single parent, I can do it.
Can I ask why? Why did that fall? Because you've just spoken about how amazing your husband is and the fact that he's been a constant. So why did you need to have that thought about, if
I
ever?
feel like it's part of, like, because of where I grew up. So there's always this thing of like death or people not being there or people leaving because my dad left. Or I'm around like robbery and all of that kind of stuff. So there's always a possibility people might die. So I think it's come from that. And I'm like, okay, if I can do something on my own, then I know like I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where it came from. And I was like, yeah, literally ready for a child. If I have to do it on my own, I'm ready.
You can do it.
Yeah, basically. And yeah, she's like the best thing. She definitely is like part of why I do what I do. I'm like, if I can show her she can do anything, be anything she wants to be, go for anything, if I can be that person that instills that in her because I have evidence that I've done it, then yeah, like I'm continuing so she knows she can continue.
Yeah.
She's got to get to that point.
That's legacy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're leaving a legacy that is already undeniable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you stop today, we don't want you to stop. But even if you did, she can already see that her mum was a trailblazer who accomplished, things that are beyond the ordinary.
Yeah.
By the grace of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally like one of the main reasons why I keep going. Yeah, just so she can see she can do anything. She can do anything. So yeah, she's in a happy place, man. When I see her, she's so like jovial, like she's so happy, and it's like the littlest things make her so excited. I'll be like, I'll give her like a lollipop, and it'll be like the best thing in the like. I've given her, I don't know, £10,000. That's the only thing that would make me as excited as
children are so grateful. Like, when I watch my son, I have a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. When I watch my 6-year-old playing drafts with snakes and ladders and drafts with my mum.
Yeah.
And he is the happiest child in the world. And I'm just like, okay. Does it take a lot?
Like, yeah, no, literally, that's all it is. Like, just seeing her, like, she just makes me happy. She just makes me so happy. So everything I do, I'm just like, yeah, if I'm successful at this, yeah, that makes me a better mom. Like when I see that success, when I go and do jobs, when I make money and I'm able to do things with her, take her places and stuff like that. Like, okay, cool. Everything's literally for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do about this whole? I always feel like I need to stop DJing. What are we going to do about this? People, what do we need to do about this? Because
I don't know if anyone can do anything,
Because I feel like what you offer is so unique. Like I know when I'm listening to a DJ Shunz set.
I don't know, man. I'm just struggling. We're sitting in it at the moment when I'm just struggling, so I just don't have the answers. If I overcame, I'd be able to give you
But it's beautiful to in this season have this conversation because you will overcome. But it's actually really helpful to be in a season where you're at a crossroads, if you like, where you're asking questions. Because most of the time people like being nice and tidy and they finish going through that journey before they come and share what's happened. But you will look back at this interview and be like, if only you knew. I'm not necessarily saying that means you continue DJing, but it will definitely. You're not gonna stay in this place you are now because God's too faithful. He's too mindful of us to leave us in that state of flux. There's so many times that I'm like, oh no, this is a crisis. I'm like, no, this is the one that's gonna finish me. I don't know how I'm getting out of this. And I know the Holy Spirit is always like, you're so dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, because fast forward 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I didn't die. You know?
Yeah.
Life continues.
Nah, so much foolishness happens, man. It just makes me think.
Are you allowed to tell us someone what is it? Who's stressing you out?
Just random things. I don't even think I can even talk about it because what? Like the craziest things have just happened.
Like, are we talking like, are people territorial about DJing, or is it like spiritual? What's going on? What is it? So we know how to pray.
I think part of it is I am too sensitive.
Yeah.
I just don't understand like certain things and like certain actions and certain things people do I just wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I'm just like, why? Like, am I not supposed to be doing this? Am I not supposed to be here? Like, what's the disrespect about? Why am I done that has warranted this level of disrespect? So for that, I'm just like, I just don't need it.
Yeah. But do you not feel like, I feel like maybe take the authority away from them, so that regardless of what they do, it's not about them. It's not about them. Like, if they want to have no behavior, that's on them. That's a reflection of who they are. It's not a reflection of your worth or your value or what you bring to the table.
I'm just like, I just don't need to be here then.
Yeah. You're like, I'm out. I left yesterday. And if this is how you're going to be.
I'm just like, I just don't need to be here. Like, I don't need to be a DJ. Like, it doesn't define me. Like, it's not.
Yeah. And there's something very powerful about that as well.
Yeah.
There's something very powerful about not idolizing a title.
Yeah.
Being open to change. There's something very powerful about that.
I know some people want to be successful at what they're doing, but for me, if it comes at like
too great a cost.
Yeah, or if it's like gonna cost my integrity or how people see me or talk about me or whatever it may be, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter to me that much. I do recognize that I do love it, and there are times when I'm on a proper high because of DJing or the opportunities or things I get doing, but I don't know, people don't know that I fight for it. Like, I'm making myself available for it. I go out of my way to try and put myself in the right positions for it, or whatever it may be. Like, it's not falling into my lap. It's not easy. I fight and I work hard for everything that I've got and I've done. And I think when people are like messing about with me, they don't realize, like, I have a family.
Yeah.
I have people that are dependent on you. So when you like disrespect me or you don't treat me right, it reflects on my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, if you make me sad or depressed, that reflects on how I'm going to be as a wife or a mom. So to me, it's just like, why be in that place for what?
Yeah.
Just not interested.
I just
I'm out in it.
I feel you.
I said to my friend, like, I've made so much peace with not being a DJ. She was like, that's sad. And I was like, why? She was just like, I just think it's sad. Like, I can see people around me don't accept the decision. But I'm just like, yeah, I'm good, you know. It's not that important to me. It's not.
I didn't think this podcast was going to be about this episode.
It's important we talk about it.
Yeah.
It's important because maybe it will make people think about like how they treat people and how they see people. Like, we have a position of like being in the public eye or whatever, however you may want to put it.
Yeah.
But it's hard work and it's a lot that we have to deal with. So then for you to add to that and do crazy stuff, it's just not, just everyone should be mindful of how they're acting and the things that they do.
The impacts, yeah. And I'm guessing these are Christians as well.
Yeah. That's all. And because of the type of person I am, I'm so like, I'm too trusting and like loving, and I'm just like bouncy all the time. Like, I forget people have ulterior motives or they think a certain way or whatever it may be. I don't know because I'm not them, but yeah, I accept everyone. I help everyone. Like, that's how I am. Like, if you lined up like 100 people within this community that know me or have interacted with them, a whole bunch of them would definitely say like, I've helped them or I've done this or I've done that. Like, it's not, I don't feel a way to like, I don't feel like I need to hold back resources or hold back contacts or hold back opportunities. Like, even other DJs will say, I've given them opportunities or helped them. Or whatever. Like, I don't feel like I have to hold everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm now getting to that place where I'm starting to feel like I'm not myself, or I need to start hoarding things or holding things or not sharing information.
Not healthy.
I don't think that's not me.
Yeah.
That just tells me, yeah, I'm out. It's not for me. Like, if you're going to change my personality or I'm going to start thinking in a certain way because I feel hurt or disrespected or like I'm up at night plotting ways of how I'm going to get home. I got to get back. Then there's a problem. Like, it's not good. It's not for me.
I understand that.
Yeah, in terms of like DJing, like me at a mixer party, people are there. That is never the problem. That's never been a problem. It's the politics behind it that is the problem. And yeah, even it.
We move. We move.
There you go. Exclusive into the world of DJ. Don't worry, but it's not easy. It's not fun all the time.
Yeah,
it's drama sometimes.
If DJ Shunz's music has ever, impacted you, maybe you listened to her live, you've been at an event, maybe you were at big church or whatever it might be, let's just overwhelm her, get in her DMs, overwhelm her with testimonies so that she won't just be like deuces to the industry, because I feel like she's almost like, or she's got one foot outside the door, if not both.
I'm literally saying no and people are trying to book me.
You're saying no?
I'm saying I'm not available.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get it out. We need to get all that feedback out. There's one question I wanted to ask, which is quite a controversial one.
Ooh.
Let's end it on some controversy. Why not? And it's about secular versus gospel. Because I feel like there's, in the last few years, at the very least, there's been a lot of contention around Christians and secular music and Christian artists and secular artists and just making music together, and then also, should Christians be listening to certain secular artists? I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure a few come to mind when you think about it. As a DJ, as somebody who, music is what you that's your what's the word? That's your paintbrush, if you like. That's your tool, your instrument of choice. What's your opinion? And as a believer, obviously.
It's crazy. My opinion has changed over the years. I remember when I first came into Christianity, like at the beginning, I actually had like this whole clear out.
Everyone talks about this.
Yeah, of secular music and didn't listen to it. I think it is a personal thing. If you know it's affecting you as a person, your behavior, your moods, then it's probably not for you. But if it doesn't have any impact on you in that way and you're not convicted by listening to it, I think it has to be you and like your personal convictions. I understand both sides, like where people are affected or think it shouldn't be listened to and stuff. And I understand the other side of it as well, where people are like, doesn't really affect me. Like, I listen to it, I dance, I go about my daily business, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know biblically if there's like a correct answer to it. Other than like some of the obvious scriptures of like being in the world but not of the world and stuff like that. But yeah, it's difficult because we do live here and we do partake. But if you do feel like it's changing your attitudes and you as a person, how you think, the things that you're doing, if it's making you more lustful or making you angry or whatever it may be, then that should be obvious that you shouldn't be listening to. In terms of like artists working with secular artists, I don't know, because there's so many testimonies of like secular artists like changing how they think or whatever it may be because of working with a certain artist. Like it's opened them up to God. So are we then gonna take away that
opportunity?
Yeah. And even like when two artists collaborate, like when Tasha collaborated with Nicki.
And that was an uproar.
Nicki's fans were introduced to gospel.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of them are actually now Christians, but I believe it could have happened.
Yeah.
It's like that wouldn't happen. That person would have never ever heard or be singing about God. Like sometimes a seed being planted gets planted in the craziest of ways. Like who are we to be like, yeah, it shouldn't be done. If that person really believes like God has called them to do this collaboration and they're not compromising, like they're not singing about drugs and sex and whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see the problem 100%, to be honest. That's just personal though. I can understand both sides of the argument. Yeah. I can see why someone has a problem with it.
You're very diplomatic. She's so good. Maybe going into policy and governance is where you need to
do kind of like politics.
Really?
Policy and that.
You're very good at seeing both perspectives, which is a good kind of quality to have. Yeah, I think this is, for now, I think this is what we need to hear from you. I'm so encouraged by your transparency. Thank you for sharing that, everything isn't 100%. And sometimes that's how it is.
Yeah.
In our walk with God. I'm going to ask you to speak to someone who also feels like they're at a crossroads. What would you say to encourage them? Like about maybe a crossroads in a decision that they need to make, or maybe they're waiting for God to give them some direction. What would be your encouragement to them?
I wouldn't move until I knew it was God. Like I wouldn't stop DJing if God was like, don't stop. I would never go against what God has called me to do. I do believe though that there are times where we may need to like take a step back or reevaluate or like go into that secret place with God to understand where we're at and where we need to go in terms of moving forward. So I would always like consult God and wait until I have an answer. Because sometimes when you're in a waiting period and it feels like a long period, you feel like, oh, that's my answer then. I'm not supposed to be doing it. But if it's not a definitive answer from God, I don't think we should move because God is not in time. Like the Bible literally says like a day is like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So, your waiting period could be a month, it could be a year, could be whatever it may be, but I wouldn't move until I knew it was God and what God wanted me to do. I wouldn't stop if I knew. So until I have
we got there, guys. We got there.
So yeah, that would be my encouragement. Like the waiting is hard, but it's necessary. Like the children of Israel was in that wilderness for 40 years. That's long. But they got to the place where they needed to get to and where they were supposed to be. And everything was orchestrated by God. Everything's orchestrated by God. So yeah, just stay in that secret place, wait for God to move. Ask God for signs. I always say to God, God, show me in a dream, show me in a vision, send a man of God, say something, send a prophet, show me in your word, like let it be clear, like let me open the Bible and it's just there.
Yeah.
Until I get those signs and confirmation of that word, I'm just not going to move.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my encouragement to people.
Yeah. Thank you. You've heard it. Stay in the secret place. I feel like whenever we are at a crossroads trying to make a decision, that's the one place that we avoid.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to ask you because I feel like sometimes you're like, I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say, so I'm just gonna keep saying, God, where are you? Answer me now.
Yeah.
But not actually go into the place where
you're very deep.
Yeah, you make
100%
time. Yeah. DJ Shunz, thank you so much for coming on Come See Podcast.
It's been like therapy.
Really? Yeah. I feel like for the first time I was like encouraging you a bit, you know? I'm not used to doing that. Normally I'm just out here like bantering.
I don't be talking, even like because I actually go to therapy.
Okay.
And she'll be like, what do you want to talk about this week? And I'll be like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want to talk.
And then the Holy Spirit was like, but I'm going to get you here. now the whole life, now everyone's seeing the comments.
Me, I can now save money. I won't even need to go therapy for 2 weeks.
No, honestly though, thank you so much for your vulnerability. I know it's going to bless others, because to see somebody who people look up to, who people are like, look at what she's accomplished, being open about actually everything isn't like just simple, easy, just like that. You know, you have struggles too.
Yeah.
So many Christian like personalities that are in the media are put on this massive pedestal without realizing that it's not always comfortable. It's not always, you know, luxuries and yeah, human beings are human beings. No matter how successful you get, human beings will always be human beings, and they will still, you know, offend, they'll still mess up. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And remember, guys, we have a deal. We're gonna inundate this woman with so much love. I want DJ Shunz to send me a message and be like, why did you do that? This is too much.
No, actually, message.
Like, no, let's stop now. Please tell them to stop.
Just tell your followers.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for listening to the Come See podcast. Do you, like I said, in the comments, as usual, let me know what resonates with you. Maybe you're at a crossroads as well, like DJ Shunz. I'd love to hear about it. Or at the very least, send DJ Shunz some love as well. And until next time, God bless.